We talked about some of the, some of the advantages of wireless in both emergency response as well. Gino, you talked about just setting up your business and making sure
Mhm.
that when you service an area, you have to be up and running quickly, and the design aspects have to be done timely. Time to market is a key thing. So we talked about that.
Definitely.
So in this decision process, what technology should I use? The network design process, the pre-site survey process, all of these things that you do almost even before boots hit the ground and you start
Mhm.
turning screws, as they used to say. Uh, in your recent experience, what are some of the tools that you found effective?
Well, to be frank, I love Google Earth, especially if you have LiDAR data available. It allows you to see 3D renditions of all the environment from your desk, um, and that saves times. There's nothing that can replace an actual site survey, going to a tower, going to a field, taking measurements, field pictures, and everything, and collecting data that you need, the hard data that you need on the field. But uh, you can replace about half of that stuff of just doing your using tools like Google Earth from your desk. So I'm loving it for been using it for a while now. But now we found also a great tool from Cambium, cnHeat, and man, we're loving cnHeat. It allows us to pinpoint exactly where we need to install our customers in an area that we cover, and the accuracy of it is stellar. So you know. We're falling in love with it too. So we're using it
So
a lot for actually not for planning the deployments of our infrastructure, but to pinpoint exactly if a customer has line of sight or has probable service with near line of sight, and actually deploying our installers, our technicians, and going there and knowing where to install the equipment, how tall needs to be installed, and what type of equipment they will need to in order to achieve the speeds or service quality that our customers wants.
I
I
second that
yeah, and
wholeheartedly.
I'm glad you brought up cnHeat and as a tool. I had kind of forgotten to mention that it's our own product. It's a great tool, combining that lidar data, and so it gives you that. And then also with Google Earth, you also mentioned Google Earth,
Yep.
so that helps you in the pre-design phases, so that your technicians on site are more efficient because they
Hmm.
understand elevation, where the antennas need to be deployed. They understand before they go on site the most likely best spot, and of
Mhm.
course they can validate that when they get on site. But it gives them that, helps them to wrap up that network design phase very quickly. Drew, if you can tell us something informative and interesting, because
So,
so far, Drew, you're riding Gino's coattails here,
listen,
and so
he's right on. I mean, he's right on. And heat, oh my gosh, uh, so my background in working in the propagation modeling industry, I've worked for a company that does that. I ran business dev for us, and I've used it. I mean, I've used some of the most amazing tools that are out there in the industry to do propagation modeling, whether it's the really high end stuff or the free stuff that's out there available. I've got a passion for trying to find the right tool to do it. And so I was real skeptical when Heat came out. I was like, oh, okay, we'll see how it goes. And so I sent everything in and I got it mapped and it came back and it was, I mean, it really blew me away. It's such a cool product. I can't wait for other integrations with it, but it worked. The accuracy of it was key. And as Gino mentioned, it's really for determining if an area is, if there's serviceability in an area or not. And I think, if anyone's a wireless ISP or any type of operator and they're trying to figure out, will this customer meet the qualifications or not, you put in a couple of settings in there and it does an extremely good job letting you know if that serviceability is actually, there. What we did with Google Earth here locally in some of our installations is we started to leverage not just Google Earth, but Google Earth in virtual reality. And we found that not just being able to see the rooftops of it, but bringing in Street View, when we could bring Street View into VR, we were doing, we had to check a whole bunch of poles, these, utility poles. And we said, okay, well, do these poles have primary circuits or secondary circuits? Do they have lights on them? Do they not have lights on them? And instead of sending someone out to drive all around the city to check them, we could sit there in our office and put on our VR headset and we could look and see and do some of that pre-qualification work from our lab. We posted a real cool picture of it while it was happening because it was a great way for us to intertwine those technologies to see how we could leverage something like AR VR along with what we're doing to save time, to save money, to, to speed our installation process up. And it worked extremely well for us. And so ever since then, what we've done as a standard practice is we carry 360 cameras with us. So whenever we go out to do a site survey, we don't just take photos, static imagery photos of what's happening, but we always snap a couple of 360 photos. And that way we're able to go back in VR and see if there's something we missed, or a screenshot that we needed, or a location installation, to see if there's an electrical outlet there, or see if there's a wire above us. So now we're really starting to leverage that. And it's really cool because it's so helpful, and it's got such a crazy cool factor to it. When we go sit down with some of these different municipalities, we can actually show them on the headset where those connections are going to be. We can overlay connection information. All I'm waiting for now is if I can get link planner files into Google Earth, into VR, then we've got a real cool product to look at.